disarmament, being involved with resistance to the Vietnam War, including Jane, my wife, was on the Tombola store. We started the Vegan Organic Network in 1996, and it was really a relief from, this is all before your time, I do appreciate there was something called the Committee of 100, and which you've probably never heard of, but it was different from the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, in as much it was a direct action campaign, and many of us have spent a long time in prison. I mean, I've spent probably 2 years or more in prison over sort of direct action, all non-violence, never been involved in violence. And we saw the direct action campaign and the various other campaigns morphing into ecology. Young people were becoming more interested in vegetarianism, veganism, climate change, global warming, and what we really said at the meetings which we convened was, we've been vegan for 4 years, I care to remember, certainly in 1956, maybe for 40 years, and no one's ever done anything about, not positively, about how food is grown. So although the vegan movement is growing immensely, I mean, look at it today. I mean, if someone has said to me, even maybe 10 or 15 years ago, that last year we'd have 1,600 people coming to a vegan event, and this year that we'd have 2,000 people, which appears is what we're going to get this year, to a vegan event. I would have thought they're absolutely nuts, you know, just thought it just isn't on. And so we started the Vegan Organic Network, which was to do with farming. And it was to do with farming because although veganism is growing and was growing then, no one appeared to be doing research into how the food was actually grown. And from our farming background, we knew that food is grown through killing animals. And I haven't got all the leaflets here, but there's at least 1,000 million animals killed each year in this country for food. It contributes enormously to global warming. About 18% of methane comes from cows burping and stuff like that. And a further 12% comes from the farming industry, food and food production. And so it's a major contributor to global warming. The other thing which is really very central to our lives is really to get away from killing. It's very difficult for those of us who have got any ideas about the way we want to live. There's very few decisions we can make where we have control. And one area where we have some control is what we put into our bodies. And what we put in our bodies, the food, which is essential, can be grown without killing animals. In fact, this is a list which is on our information stall there of farms that are completely vegan organic. So unless you've got any questions, please do ask them. So someone's got to be brave enough. At university, there always had to be someone to spark off it. Good.
Yeah, so you said before that you went to prison.
Sorry?
You said that you went to prison.
Yeah.
Okay. A vegan option?
No. Oh, well, first of all, I went to prison over the CND. We still had colonies when I was about 18 years old, and there was 1959, and the nitrogen from the air into what is now synthetic fertilizers. And it was such an amazing breakthrough when you think, like I've mentioned, that 97% of all the food that you are likely to eat is grown with synthetic fertilizers. And that synthetic fertilizers came from the work of Haber in around about the 1920s, when he managed to crack this. And it led to synthetic nitrate, which helped the Germans, and clearly us also, with making explosives on an industrial scale. And it also helped agriculture on an industrial scale by a fertilizer that can be distilled from the air. Why that is relevant to us, and to be quite honest, I had my notes for this meeting, but I think it's made them fairly redundant, is that this amazingly complex process, which is expensive, which it fouls the atmosphere, it goes towards global warming, as all farming using synthetic fertilizers does. Why it's interesting to us is that vegan organic farming, which is what we promote, is exactly the opposite. It virtually costs nothing, and it's all done through plants. The pea, bean and clover family of plants, I don't know whether you know this, or you know whether this is something you're aware of, all fix nitrogen in their roots. There's something called photosynthesis that excites the plant. It fixes chlorophyll. There used to be chlorophyll in toothpaste, by the way, which helped to clean the teeth. So what happens is, whereas Bosch went through this amazingly complex, earth-shattering, in a very real sense, that causes global warming process, what we do, what our farmers here do, is plant peas, beans and clover. Essentially that's the family. They distill the nitrogen from the air through the plants into their roots. The roots give off, I think it's called an exudate, and the microorganisms in the land, the fungi and the microorganisms, mix with the roots of either the clover plant or the bean or the pea plants, and they create a nitrogen fix in the soil. So what Haber did, we do in a simple, natural and ordinary way that is good to eat. We don't use fish blood or bone meal. That is the main source of fertilizers, as well as mulches, compost, crop rotation, and that essentially is really what we do. The basis, I would emphasize again, of all that we do is really based on non-violence. It's based on a philosophy. None of us are, I think, particularly religious. Maybe Buddhism, many of our members would subscribe to that sort of philosophy, but essentially it's non-violent. We've tried to create a network, and I've been going around the stalls talking to many of the stall holders about us trying to create an international vegetarian or vegan union, so that instead of working, as many of us do, in isolation, that we combine together, rather like a trade union, and have a representation that is far stronger because of solidarity, of unity, of working together in promoting what we do. And there's a whole variety of stalls out there that promote different aspects of humane and humanitarian and non-violent living. I'd rather this develop into a discussion than to me talking too much, but what I would like to say is this, that I don't know whether any of you have heard of the Soil Association. Yeah, nods. Soil Association is the prime certifying body for farmers who wish to grow organically. And there's a relationship we have with the Soil Association whereby they will add our standards, which is in this book here. This is really the first book ever published on growing food vegan organically. So what happens is, if a farmer wants to grow his food without fish blood, bone meal or animal manure, or use our standards, the Soil Association have agreed to do inspections on our behalf. The problem we have with that is many of our farmers are only farming on a small scale. They're not rich, not sort of the barons of East Anglia growing their grain. And an inspection from the Soil Association costs around about £800, so that's a big lump out of a small farmer's income. So there's two issues that we had to face. Some of the farmers still are accredited by the Soil Association, and thereby they're entitled to display this logo on their box schemes, on the food that they grow and distribute. The difficulty that we have where they want to be certified stock-free is that you can only use the term organic if you do it through an accredited organisation like the Soil Association. In other words, you have to be pretty rich to have the infrastructure to set up the inspections. So whilst we're still on very good relationship with the Soil Association, we have set up our own standards which are written down here. And if a farmer wants to say, you know, we're certified, you can't use the word organic. So what we say, you can have a logo and our symbol, and it will say certified stock-free growing and farming and growing underneath or something like that. But we can't use the word organic. So it's certified stock-free. So wherever you see that symbol, you will know that the food is grown vegan organically, although we can't use the word organic. Okay, so the other literature we produced is a very controversial book called Growing Sustainability. It's written by a farmer called Dave Darlington, and it's controversial and it's stimulating. Like some of the titles, Can Vegan Organics Feed the World? Should we be vaccinated using animal byproducts in the vaccine? It covers a whole range of things, and I do recommend, the book is quite cheap, it's only £7. I do recommend you buy that. If you want to know a lot about farming, this is the book to get. If you would like to join VON, and we hope that you will, because we rely entirely on subscriptions from our members, we produce this magazine, I think, which is number 34. We started in 1996, in case you missed the opening. And these are two vegan farmers in Spain. And like, I don't know whether I mentioned, we've got farms in probably about 15 or so different countries. Again, most of the projects around Manchester or in Manchester, and there's some stalls out there now, are all vegan organic. And they all run courses, and if you want to know more, go to our stall and pick up one of the leaflets. We run courses, and very well attended, not as well attended as the event here today, by the way. If you're interested in home growing, or if you've got an allotment, this is Grow Your Own, and it's from windowsill growing to your allotment or to your back garden. If you're interested in commercial farming, how our farmers do it, this will explain possibly much more clearly and demonstrate how it is done by one of our farmers in Oxfordshire. And this is quite interesting. It's a Quaker project in Clapham, North Yorkshire, not Clapham in London. Someone made the mistake and ended up in Hackney. And anyhow, so all my jokes are of that ilk, by the way. If you want to know about commercial growing under cover, there's 2 acres of greenhouses, polytunnels, in Clapham in North Yorkshire. It's a Quaker project, and either, if you can't go to the farm, I suggest our leaflets only cost a few, DVDs only cost a few pence. I suggest that you pick up one of the DVDs from our stall just over there. And this is a list of our farms. If you want a list of farms in different countries, you can get, they're available on our website. We'd like you to join us. We really do rely on minimal subscriptions. For £5, you can have access to all our news on the internet, including the magazines. But if you were very generous and paid £10, which is a discount here today, this is the hard sell bit, okay. If you wanted to really support us, you could pay £10 and join us. I would say a word about today. I think there's around about 2,000 people today, which is 400 more, I think, than we had last year. And that sounds as though it's going to bring us in lots of money. I must stress this because we're all volunteers. No one is paid. That the only money we make is on the £2 entrance fee. Because believe it or not, hiring the Irish Club and the car parking area is very expensive, but it's clearly very worth doing. So unless you've got any questions, please do ask them. So someone's got to be brave enough. At university, there always had to be someone to spark off with. Good.
Yeah, so you said before that you went to prison.
Sorry?
You said that you went to prison.
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
a vegan option?
No. Oh, well, first of all, I went to prison over the CND. We still had colonies when I was about 18 years old, and there was 1959, and